Hello, good evening, everybody. I I am here talking about how to fight the bully right. So I'm going to wait for a few minutes for everybody to join in. It's a live session. I would really like to thank all of you for the inputs that I have got, for all the messages that I have received. I think this is one subject which is very close to everybody's heart because we have all gone through some bullying at some point or the other. And somewhere the repercussions of the same are still felt. So yes, we are going to talk about it, and I'm definitely going to take care of those inputs that I got, and I'm going to formulate questions and throw it on all of you and see how you feel about it. So going ahead, fight the bully right. The most common thing people tell me is that, oh, I'm a very strong person and nobody can cross a line with me, or nobody can dare to do things against me. So let me put things very straight up front. Any human being, be it me, be it you, be it anybody, goes through bullying on a daily basis. Bullying is natural to human beings. If I am not bullying somebody, I am being bullied. It's as simple as that. My child bullies me. Hi, Uma. My child bullies me. I bully him. And the same goes for everybody. Parents are the ones we bully the most after a certain age. Till a certain age, parents are bullying us. Now, when we get into the friend circle, there is a hierarchy in friends also, where one person is the leader of the pack. That is a very animalistic review of bullying, if you want to see. By the end of the day, we are pack animals. And in a pack, we decide on one leader. And the rest of the pack runs around that one leader. So if we understand this and we stop looking at everything as a threat, things might change and we might look at things differently, and we might overcome the fear that engulfs us time and again. So now I am going to talk about various forms of bullies. Firstly, we talk about the physical bullying, where domestic violence, etc., all comes under a physical bullying. Or if we see kids hitting each other, anything that gives physical hurt is physical bullying. Then we talk about verbal bullying. What happens in most of the cases, the relationships cases, where people try holding the other person, controlling the other person through words, usage of words. And the third type of bullying is your social bullying. I can give you examples like gossiping. Gossiping is a worse kind of bullying, and that happens socially. Then we talk about when you ban people from groups, when you gang up against people, that is social bullying altogether. Now the fourth, which has recently happened in the last couple of years, is your social media bullying, your cyberbullying, which everybody is going through in a very different manner. So I am going to touch base on each of these types, and I don't know where you can get attached to what kind of bullying you're going through and how you combat it in your life. So the first question that I got on my inbox was about this lady who's going through domestic violence during the lockdown period, and it has increased, which is actually the scene that we are seeing across. The husbands are home, and the frustration has been taken out on the lady of the house. So how do I cope with this? It is a bullying, it is a kind of bullying, and this comes under physical as well as sometimes verbal. One partner is stronger than the other. So how do you combat this? First of all, thank you for reaching out. At least we can look into the matter. Secondly, my first question to anybody who comes to me with a case or a history of physical violence is, why are you allowing it? I will say it again. Why are you allowing it? I know you will feel extremely bad when I say that I am giving the onus of the crime to the victim, but you are somewhere giving the power to your spouse. How dare he raise his hands on you? And same goes for the women. I have seen women raising hands on their men. How dare anybody raise hands on you, irrespective of the gender? And where is the fear of consequence? They know they can get away with it. When anybody becomes comfortable in hurting you, it's high time you stop and you listen. How are they becoming so comfortable? You are giving them that power. They know you can't do anything without them. And why is that happening? Even if you are, if I say, even if you are dependent on them financially, it's a comfort zone you have entered. There is nothing a human cannot do if he or she doesn't make up his or her mind to do. Then there is a excuse people give, oh, my kids are there. Are the kids going to grow up healthy seeing you beaten up black and blue every day? No. So what is the step you're taking to protect yourself? Blaming becomes very easy. Blaming comes easy because you're playing victim card and you're blaming the other person that the other person is doing everything wrong and me bichara. But what are you doing to protect yourself? The law is with you. The law is with you. Even if your family is not with you, there are so many NGOs working towards this. You can approach anybody and take help. Why are you not taking that help? I understand the Indian values, I understand everything, but somewhere the person has to be you have to shred the person of his ego or her ego or of that belief that no matter what I do, this person is not going nowhere. There is no fear of consequence. The only way to tackle this is by giving that fear of consequence. And no, bullying, you cannot scream back. Screaming back is not empowerment. Using cuss words is not empowerment. Going out and partying is not empowerment. Taking help of alcohol or drugs is not empowerment. Empowerment is all about you picking up the shreds of your life and resurrecting your life with dignity. So why are you letting that dignity go? It is your life by the end of the day, and it is your kids who are watching this day in and day out. What are they learning from this? They're just seeing their mother cry or their father cry. No, this is not right. Rather, you should be teaching your kids how to fight back with dignity and fight back not using cuss words, not blaming. Fight back by resurrecting your life. Show them what real meaning of success is. And comfort zone, when you get into a comfort zone, we have been taught a few things from the very beginning. Family breaking is not good for kids, or oh, ladki ka, what do you say, agar doli uthi hai to arthi aayegi, that mangal sutra and that sindoor, and oh, what will the world talk? The world will be absolutely okay. The only answer to the world is your success. And your success here means you being happy in your own skin, you being happy doing things that you're doing without harming anybody, you bringing up your kids the way they should be without feeling victimized. And what is stopping you is your fear of unknown. That first step of taking that first step. When you do not understand what your real threat is, your threat is not that man who's beating you. Your real threat is your own fear. The day you will realize that, this all will stop. The day you give that fear of consequence, you take that power away, they will stop. We give them the power. So I was not like this. Many people, when they ask me, oh, you are different, you can do this. No, I was not always like this. If you ask me, I have gone through, myself gone through physical abuse. And I couldn't do anything at that point because the real threat was my fear. The day I decided to stand up for myself, that is the day, and today is the day nobody can take me for a ride the way I was taken for a ride back then in my 20s and my 30s. So the power is within you. You can do it. And it is by the end of the day your life. No matter what I come and stand here and say, no matter what your parents say, no matter what the world says, only you can help yourself. We can just give you lectures like I'm giving today. But how do you identify with these things is completely on to you. Coming down to the second kind of bully, which is the verbal bully. Verbal bullying mostly happens in colleges, in schools, in offices, and at home. If you see it is used to control you basically. So if you see anybody laughing at you for any physical attribute of yours, or for anything that you talk, or for anything, how do you feel? You feel bullied. And there's so many examples we have where we see kids. Somebody sent me a note today. There was a set of young kids in a school. They were caught making fun of girls in a chat, and how the girls actually fought back. So that was a kind of verbal bullying. Or you can call that cyberbullying also. But cyberbullying is written, verbal is spoken. So when you see kids being laughed at and tagged on, what do we do with the kids? We as parents bully them, no? So many times. Oh, you're so stupid. Oh, you are so idiot. You're this, you're that, you can't do this much also. That's bullying. That's hardcore bullying. When the kids go down, oh, you're so fat. Oh, you're so short. Oh, you can't even sing. Oh, you can't draw. Oh, you're not good in this. Oh, you're not good in that. They go through a havoc. Because at home also they're hearing that. And when they go down, their friends also say that. So they start believing that they are bad. And anything that changes your mentality is something that is, you have to really stop and think, are you that bad? Now, for example, in my case, there are many people who turn around and say, oh, you're so fat. Somebody even said, oh, you're so fat. How can you make videos? At that point, 3-4 years back, I stopped. I did not make videos thinking that, oh, I'm fat, I'm going to look horrible. I'm not going to make videos. I let that verbal bully me. Till the point when I started working on my weak spots. Being fat was my weak spot till a time that was used by the bullies to weaken me further. So when I accepted, this is how I am. I am fat. And I'm cute fat. I like myself the way I am. And can I do something about it? Yes, I can exercise. Am I doing something about it? No, I'm not. That means that's not my priority as of now. So it is my life by the end of the day. So if somebody feels bad watching me, can decide not to watch me. It's okay. But there are many people who might not feel anything. My weight may not be an issue at all. That was the day when anybody calling me fat stopped disturbing me. So I accepted my characteristic. I will not even call it a flaw. It's going to be a disrespect if I call it a flaw. I accepted myself, and I did not give the freedom and the power to anybody else to use it against me. So when anybody calls me, oh, you're so fat, oh, you know what, you were sitting on an auto, so the auto bent, I laugh with them because I have the ability to laugh at my own characteristic now. So I laugh and I genuinely don't feel bad anymore. So what have I done? I have taken the power away from people. People use your weak spots. People use your weaknesses against you. And your weakness can be overcome by you only by you. So when you're giving them the power to use it against you, they're using it. When you start laughing with them, for how long will they do it? When they will see it is not affecting you, they will try something else. So basically, it is all about hello everybody. Hi Ruchika. I'm sorry, whoever I have missed on saying hello, because I'm so deeply passionately talking about stuff that I am missing on the hellos and the highs. I'm so sorry. So hi everybody. So when you are confident about yourself, when you know what you're talking is making sense, when you know that you are right, and when you know that there is no real threat but just your fear of acceptance, is when you will start taking things in your stride, is when you will not let anybody bully you in any which manner. So first is fear of consequence, which everybody should have around you. It doesn't mean, many a times we feel empowered. I'm going to repeat this. Empowerment is not screaming and shouting. Empowerment is not using cuss words. Empowerment is not getting addicted to alcohol or any kind of substance abuse. Empowerment is not having too much sex. Empowerment is not partying. Empowerment is the ability to speak your heart out, to speak your mind without fear, without hurting anybody. No, we don't hurt anybody. When you talk, and that is the art of communication that we all need to learn. When we talk to give a message across. What is the message? What is the intention of the message? The intention is either to protect yourself or a cry of help. When you're asking for some help or when you're trying to protect yourself, there is no need to be defensive and give it back so badly to anybody. If your intention is to put a message across, that message should come across that I am feeling like this because this is happening and it's making me uncomfortable. So stop. And if you don't stop, this is the consequence. I might unfriend you, I might not talk to you, I might take it to the superiors, I might take an action against you. And it should not be a fake fear. It should not be a fake promise of consequence. When you have said something, do it. If they don't stop, if I say I'm going to go to the police after this, I will go to the police after that. So next time when I say something, they know they're going to get it back. It is in your hands to protect yourself. So this we are talking. And now how do you combat the gossips around? Whenever you hear something really bad about yourself, and we've all heard something horrible about ourselves, somewhere spoken in between friends. The only way to combat it is that it is human tendency to talk behind your back. People talk. And it is not mandatory for people to understand you the way you are. You will be misunderstood many a times. And that is absolutely normal. Expecting people to understand you always is the pain point. I don't understand myself sometimes. How do I understand other people without a misunderstanding? Do you understand yourself totally? Do you know how you're going to react to a certain situation tomorrow? Can you be too sure of it? Then how can we put that big, huge expectation on our friends and our families? So when not everybody is strong enough to come and say that on your face because they don't know that art of communication. Again, I'm repeating it. Art of communication, of letting the person know where you felt bad and coming up with a solution. That is what communication is for. Coming up with a win-win situation and a solution. So when somebody is unable to say that on your face, they talk behind you with somebody who might understand and give them the power to feel good about themselves. Gossips are only done to feel good about yourself. It normally starts with, oh, I wouldn't have done this in that place. So basically you're giving validation to self. So those are weak people. They're weaker than you. So there's nothing to feel bad about it then. It's as simple as that. And if you think there is a gossip that is really harming your reputation, stand up and talk. Stand up and talk and clear the air there and then. Clear the air. Give your explanation if it is required. Normally, people like me, I give explanation to people who really matter to me, who are really close to my heart, who will really listen to my explanation. Many a times, people do not want to listen to your explanation. And in fact, explanation is looked as a sign of weakness. So depending on what you want, thank you, Arvind. Depending on what you want out of a certain situation. If I hear my mother or my best friend talking behind my back, my first instinct is to go up to my friend and ask him or her, where did I hurt you? The onus lies on me. The onus does not lie on the other person always. And if the other person is being unreasonable, I am okay to give it a certain break. Let them figure out the situation and come back to me when they're comfortable. I will not push myself. I will not do anything which does not go well with my dignity or which robs me of my dignity. I love my friends, I love my family, but I love myself too. And anybody who has known me remotely has known me how I used to not love myself so much, the Priya that was before, and now the Priya that is today, deeply, madly in love itself. And only when I can love myself can I love the world with the intense emotion that I do. When I don't have it in me, I can't give it to anybody. So today I can sit here, give lectures on bullying and all of that because I have gone through it. There was a time till standard 12th, I have been bullied till my first year of college. In fact, I was the most ragged student also. So I have been bullied, and how? And I never raised my voice. I didn't know how to talk. I used to keep quiet, to the extent that for the longest I hated my parents for being the way they were, and unfortunately I never opened my mouth for them to know that I am being hurt. I just kept blaming them for something that they didn't even know. Had I opened my mouth at the right time, I would have saved myself and them from so much misery. We don't talk at the right time. The fear of consequences within us. Rather than giving the fear of consequence, we take that fear and we roam around. So had I opened my mouth that you're doing this, it is hurting me, mom, dad, please don't do it, they would have been at a better position to understand me. As parents, they love me. There is no parent on this earth who doesn't love their children. But then as children also, we have certain responsibility of having the right communication. Parents are not gods. They will make mistakes in their parenting. I am going to make mistakes. That is what I'm teaching my child. I am making mistakes. I know that. Tell me when I'm wrong and when I've hurt you when I shouldn't have. Don't keep it in you. Tell me. I will try rectifying it. Had I given that chance to my parents to rectify the mistakes that I thought were their mistakes and they had no clue, things would have been very different today. Today things are back to normal, but in between there was a very rocky patch. I could have saved them from so much trouble later. And same goes for anybody. Same goes in any relationship when you are friends with your friends. If we speak up when the need is, when you're being hurt, when you're feeling hurt, talk. Don't let people just ride all over you. You need to speak up politely. Not using the cuss words, not screaming. Politely. Me taking the onus. The I-centric conversation is always the best conversation because you're not becoming the threat to the other person. If the other person is threat to you, you then cannot come to a solution while becoming a threat to the other person. Then there is a game of defense that will happen. There is a war that you're crying out for. So if intelligently you want to combat any kind of bullying, The only way of doing it is by being I-centric, saying, I am not feeling good about this. This is happening and this is where it is hurting me. So how do we solve this? This is what communication should be. How do we solve this? If you have no intention of solving it, then I will solve it my way. You may or may not like it. Because right now, my priority is my happiness. If I am happy, then only I can give you happiness. Otherwise, we are in a rut. Absolute rut. Now coming down to the third kind of bullying, the fourth kind of bullying, the cyberbullying. I keep reading a lot of statuses where girls post, in the inboxes where men go around asking, hi, I want to make friends with you, or they pass some lewd remark or whatever. And they get so disturbed and they post it on the timeline. My question is, why are you getting disturbed? If I show you my inbox, it's full of messages. It is full of messages. I normally do not go to my inbox. That's my normal thing, because if somebody really has some work, will call me or will connect with me any which way. So inbox is not something that I really see. But even sometimes I go, it is so funny. It is so funny that every second man is kind of trying to, be friends with you or know you better or whatever. And there is nothing wrong in that. That's a natural instinct. So it again depends on how you're taking the situation, whether you're taking it as a natural instinct or you're taking it as a threat. I have never taken it as a threat. It makes me smile. It's a natural instinct, maybe. I am pretty. So they're finding me beautiful, so why not? So it actually boosts my self-esteem. So what is so wrong in that? But at the same time, there's some women who have taken feminism to another level of unnatural turn of events. This is all natural. Don't we women do it? Don't we women look at good-looking men? We do that. Approach is a little different. That's about it. Who doesn't do that? Who doesn't like eye candies? Everybody likes, irrespective of the gender. So then you should be proud of yourself. Okay, somebody's finding you pretty. What is there to feel offensive about? Now coming to the other set of cyberbullying, see, when you post something which is sensitive, I am going to repeat this. When you post something which is sensitive and specifically political in nature, expect a backlash. I post a lot of political stuff, and anybody who knows me knows that. I post a lot of political stuff. I have been beaten black, blue and brown by words where they have actually attacked me as a person. They have attacked my profession, everything. Did I stop? Did I complain? Did I cry foul? I gave it back to them, there and then. I gave it back to them. Because I know if I'm posting something which is sensitive, it will have a backlash. And I cannot tell people, do not comment on my timeline. This is my timeline. How dare you cross this line? How dare you talk to me like this? What am I doing? I'm giving them the power again. The minute I complain, I give power to the other person. Rather, I take a very stern stand. I tell them, I'm not liking the way you're behaving. Let's talk logical, or else let's stop talking. You want a debate? I am on with the debate. But talk logical. No below the belt comments. And people have realized this and they do not do that anymore on my timeline. And people who feel like doing it, stay away from my timeline. So you cannot keep playing a victim card. What are you doing? Meeta, yes, I get bullied for posting political stuff too, but now I've learned to ignore them. Either you ignore them or you understand nobody is going to always be thinking from our perspective. Everybody has the right to their own perspective.
And nobody becomes good or bad basis the perspective they have unless they start attacking. And when somebody attacks and becomes a threat, then how do you combat that? Everybody has a different way of doing that, and social media is the easiest to combat them. You can just block them. If somebody is irritating you, block them. There is nothing wrong in that. You're protecting your dignity again. Block them. Then there is no point to crib and to show the world, oh, what a martyr I am. No, you're not. Everybody goes through that. Everybody goes through that, and everybody goes through some kind of bullying somewhere. The most powerful people also get bullied. They get bullied by the media. They get bullied by their own people. So becoming a victim is never a solution. What are you doing to come out of the situation? What steps are you taking to become a survivor rather than remaining a victim? Remember one thing, no matter what you go through life, success is the only answer. If you've gone through a bad relationship, a good relationship or a happy future is the answer. If you've gone through a bad phase in the financial world, then a good phase in the financial world is the answer. So whatever you do, whatever you go through, success in terms of happiness, internal peace is the only answer. Till the time you don't get that, you keep cribbing. You keep fighting. You keep falling for things that you shouldn't be falling for. I don't know how many of you have seen after a breakup, you see a series of relationships that happen. Why is that happening? You're empowering yourself with the wrong notion. Rather, after a breakup, if you take a 6 months break and get in touch with yourself again, you don't need another person to make you happy. Nobody can make you happy till the time you do not find happiness within. Because immediately if you will get into another relationship, what will happen? You will take the baggage of the previous relationship into this. So your life is in your hands. I'm again going to repeat 4 kinds of bullying: physical, verbal, social, cyber. All the bullies have one thing in common. They use your fear against you, your weakness against you. So how do you take control of your life? Firstly. Secondly, derobe them. Take their power away from them. You can do that only when you are powerful within. You can do that only when you're confident within. I will give you another example of the Me Too movement that happened. It was supposed to be done for the rape victims. It started with a beautiful notion, but then gradually it lost its beauty because it was used as a victim card. People started victimizing themselves. Oh, I was there back there in the office. Somebody did this to me. I understand we all have financial needs. I understand everything. But why did you keep quiet? Whose life was it by the end of the day? I know it is easier said than done and people can really be bad, but it is your fight, your dignity. If it is hurting you so badly, get up and talk. Talk when you should talk. Priya, you can do it because you're strong. Everybody is not strong. My question is why? Why everybody is not so strong? What is holding you all? Same mouth, same tongue. Everybody's got right and it has been given to communicate. Why are we, what are our fears? Can we understand our own fears now? You will be bullied throughout your life. Remember this. You will be bullied throughout your life. There is no single human being who will not be bullied if they don't wish to be bullied. So now it is on to you if you allow them or you don't allow them. Pratibha, what should be done if family members bully? What about bystanders? Pushpa, bystanders, please can you explain that a little more? Family members bullying, again, I have taken that in depth before. When your family members bully you, for example, your mother, your father, your brother, your husband, you talk. You give the fear of consequence. What is hurting you? Is it, firstly, we have to identify whether it is bullying or it is just frustration coming out. Sometimes there is a very thin line which we fail to understand. Is it even related to me? Please understand that in husband-wife relationship or any relationship, is something that is happening even related to me, or is it the frustration of the outside world that is coming out on me? And why me? Even if it is the outside frustration, why is it coming out on me? I'm going to ask you all a simple question. All of you as human beings, watch yourself. How are you with your kids? It is the same you who's very different with your spouse. It is the same you who's extremely different with your boss. It is the same you who's extremely different with your friend. What is the difference? Difference is the fear of consequence only. You're the sweetest with your boss because that boss has the capability of taking your livelihood away. With your child, you're the worst and you're the biggest bully because the child can't do much against you. You're stronger. So that strength that you gain through the other person's weakness is called bullying. And when you take that strength back, when you're being bullied, when you take that strength back and you give them that, okay, as a husband, if somebody is bullying me, if my husband bullies me, if he bullies me, what would be my take there? Simple. I'm not liking it. So what are the two things? Either you rectify yourself or let's call it quits for some time. Let's take a rain check. So when I take a rain check, it brings in insecurity in him. Oh, she can go. She can leave me and go. Nobody wants to see a broken house or a broken family. Nobody likes that. So it is not just a woman's prerogative, it is everybody's. Even the man needs a family. So when you just move off for some time, just take a rain check. Then especially in schools, there is a victim. I'm going to come on that. At home, take away the power. First understand whether the threat is real or it is here. If it is here, combat it there. If it is real, if it is really derobing you, please take a stand and move out. Move out of the situation for some time and come back with a solution. Try talking first. If the solution is not coming out by talking, then an action is a must. A short action. Because if you will not take a stand for yourself, that is what your kids will see and that is what they will learn, that it is okay to bully others. So in order to bring up a responsible generation next, it is in your hands to teach them not to do what not to do. Alright. Now coming into schools and the victim and bully that I see, bystanders role too. Can you throw light on bystanders? Tamasha sab dikhenge. Whenever there is a fight that happens, you will see bystanders always in any walk of life. Whether you're in the office, at home or anywhere, your rishtedar will be watching your fight, your office co-workers will be watching. Whenever there is anything, bystanders will be there. So they should be the last one you should be thinking about. They mean nothing. Now the child who's being bullied, what I have taught my son, I'm just going to give you how you can. As parents, what we do, we try protecting children. Oh, this one hit you. Okay, I'm going to go and complain to the parent there. What happens? Parents fight and kids are back to being friends again in half an hour. In half an hour, they will be back being friends again. And then what is your thing? Oh, I fought with the parents and you're playing with that same boy. No, you're not supposed to play with that boy or that girl. They are bullying you. And the child is like, no, I like playing with that friend of mine. And this happens 99% times. So was that really bullying? Yes, that was bullying in a certain way. So how do you teach your children to be safe? What I have taught, I can just explain you that. When Vidhan comes back crying, oh mummy, this one is hitting me, oh mummy, that one is doing that, I say, why did you take it? If somebody is hitting you, all you need to do is just look around, put a stop, say, if you hit me, you're not my friend. If you hit me, you're not my friend, and I mean it. I'm not going to talk to you ever. And move out from there and come back. He tried that. His friends came back running to him. And that is the day, and today is the day. They've never hit him. Then there were verbal bullyings that happened. That, oh, he's so patla, oh, he's so this. I said, Vidhan, you're so good in so many things. If I ever hear you making fun of anybody, I'm not going to pardon you. If I ever hear you have beaten up somebody, I'm never going to pardon you. But at the same time, if somebody is making fun of you because you are weak in a certain section, accept it firstly. So it will not hurt you. Say, okay, I can't be good in everything. Can you be good in everything? Mama is not good in everything. There's so many things I'm not good at. So it's natural to not be good in everything. And it's very unnatural to compare you with anybody else. Am I comparing you? He said, no. I said, then you also don't compare yourself with anybody. Don't give them that power to laugh at you. And if they're laughing at you, it's showing more about them than about you. You keep trying. Keep trying. If you stop trying, that is the day when you become a loser. Because somebody laughed at you, you will not try. That means you're a very weak personality. And you can't be my son then. That is not a characteristic I would want you to develop ever. Oh, that one laughed at me, so I'll not do. Try. They laughed at you because that is how much their awareness is. They don't know they're hurting you. Do they know they're hurting you? Did you tell them they're hurting you? He said, no. I said, try doing that. Go and tell them you laughed at me. I'm unable to do all this today. And see, those will be your friends who will take you forward from there. And that is exactly what happened. When he went and he spoke with his friends openly that you laughed at me, I'm unable to do this now. Those very friends came around and supported him and made him learn that very subject. So you can do things differently without hurting sentiments, without hurting anybody, without falling in the trap of being hurt. For that, you have to develop a mentality of a survivor. The minute you start playing a victim card, you will never be able to come out of a situation successfully because you start blaming. The minute you start blaming, there is no solution. You want other people to change without you doing anything about the situation. That never happens. Nobody changes, nobody listens to anybody. Anybody, any human being on this planet Earth is an emotional being by the end of the day. There is nobody good, nobody bad. Your worst enemy today will be having at least 10 good friends. So that worst enemy is good to somebody. So what happened between the two of you? Probably two good people did not gel, the thinking did not match. That's about it. You became threat for each other. Anybody who's helping you survive is your friend. Anybody who comes in between you and the survival becomes your enemy. Remember this. So stop tagging people as good and bad firstly. As parents also, what we do, oh, this friend of yours is not good. Oh, that one is not good. This one is not good. Everybody is good. Everybody is good. Thought processes are different because of various backgrounds that we come from. Whatever our learnings are. Some people have been lucky like me who have gotten into a field of psychology and also we understand things a little more. Some people are still coming from the walk of life where they have not seen life so much. So they're coming from their very limited awareness platform. So does that make them a good person or a bad person? No. Everybody is very good in their own eyes. At the same time, they're very bad in their own eyes. So it's a very complex mix of situations. And that complexity is seen in different relationships that we have. The superiority complex comes only from a low self-esteem. When you're not in love with yourself. So in order to fight the bully, right, fall madly in love with yourself. That is what you need. So madly in love with yourself that you are peacefully able to accept your flaws so they don't become the weaknesses that others can use. You're peacefully able to express yourself so that you're not tagging the other person as good or bad, and you are not becoming the threat in somebody else's life. You just peacefully accept situations. Whether you can come to a conclusion or no, if you can't come to a conclusion, if you can't come to a certain solution, walk away. Peacefully. Walk away. For some time, people come around. When you do not become a threat to somebody's life, people come around. Because everybody by the end of the day needs love, needs acceptance, needs validation. Nobody is good or bad. You either gel with somebody or you don't. So don't push too hard to change people. And if somebody is pushing hard to change you, put a stop. It is your life. Power lies within you, and you can do it. Thank you for being with me. I'm going to go through all the messages now, and I'll try giving answers as much. This video I'm going to put on a watch party also, so that everybody who's joined in late can watch it again. And bullies, the bullies within us, the bullies outside, we all need to be contained. Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening ahead.